to the Lituation room. What is good, everyone? It's your girl, Alicia B, and you are now in the place to be. Welcome to the Lituation room. It's season 3. Hey. Y'all, I can't believe that we are here at this moment. If you've been rocking me since season 1, you the real OG, the real TLR fam know what's up. But if you haven't, you could pause, go back to season 1 and 2, and then come back. Ain't no problem. And while you here, if you're on the YouTube, if you didn't know, we have a YouTube. Crazy. But if you didn't know, we got merch too. You can see it. Period. It's real cute. So if you want to go buy it, it's on the lituationpodcast.co/shop. Simple. Real cute, real simple. But I have an amazing first guest today, and I'm going to just let him introduce himself because I just feel like I can't give him the justice that he deserves.
All right, what's good, y'all? My name is Seven Cent. I'm a music producer, graphic designer, all around just creative. I'm from Las Vegas, Nevada. I was born in Washington, D.C., actually, so, I got connections on both coasts. A recent graduate from North Carolina A&T, Aggie Pride.
Yes.
Yeah, man. I'm ready. I'm ready for this interview. Let's get into it.
First of all, he didn't even talk about the song that y'all heard at the beginning.
I made the beat. That's me.
All right. So you've already heard great things from him, clearly, because you've been listening to this podcast. So if y'all need to hit him up for any music needs, he the one. All right. Period. But okay, so we're going to start this off real simple, real easy. So obviously, as a producer, as a person who makes beats, as a graphic designer, pretty much the first question obviously has to be, what made you want to get started in the industry? Like, what drew you to wanting to produce?
So it's actually crazy. On my dad's side of the family, it's like everybody was into music. So since I was like 4, when my parents had got divorced, I was living with my mom, but my dad, he would always send me instruments. So like since I was 4, I had like maracas, bongos, just a whole bunch of shit that would make my mom go crazy because I was just making noise all the time. So I always had like music in my life. And like I would say it wasn't until like I was 13 when I really started to get like curious about music production. Like, and it started on this website called Music Shake, and it's this weird website where you like, it's like you just put all these little loops of music together and you make songs and you share them and stuff. So I got started with that, and then I leveled up to like really producing like on FL Studio. I came across that because there's this producer named Ski Beats. He's a legendary producer, produced for Jay-Z, and he had a album that he made that it's called 24 Hour Karate School. And when I heard that album, like when I was like 14, like it really like fucked my head up. Like it changed my whole life because I was like, yo, I gotta make beats like this. I want to make beats like him. And like, so I'm on YouTube. I'm like, how does he make these beats? And there's a program called Ableton. And I'm a teenager. I'm broke. Like, of course, I'm over here trying to figure out how to like crack the program and get the illegal version. So, like, I got the illegal version of Ableton. Didn't know how to use that shit. Like, gave up on my producer dreams for like half a second. Then I came across FL Studio, and that's because I came across this amazing producer named Ninth Wonder. Ninth Wonder is super famous for like just doing what he does on FL Studio. So yeah, after I found FL Studio, it was a wrap. It was over with. So that's basically how I got into it. Yeah.
So you're naming all of these people, and from what I know about these producers, they have very like different tastes and different styles. And for people that know Pharrell, because he's probably like one of the most popular producers, he has this very specific thing that he does at the beginning of every song that he ever produces. It's like the triple beat or something.
It's the 4 count. It's always a 4 count.
Okay, it's a 4 count. So it's like people, when you hear that song, you automatically know, okay, Pharrell did that because no one else is doing that. Do you have a specific either genre that you cater to, or is there always some slight thing in your beats that, yeah, okay, that's 7 Cent, like he did that?
I would say, and when it comes to my beats, you're always going to hear like, well, one my tag, just A Big Seven, whip it up again. Like that's off top. You're gonna know that's me. But it's two distinctive things. Like it's always gonna be hard drums. Like I always try to do something really weird and glitchy with the drums, to where it's not something you're like used to hearing. And then the second thing is like whenever I'm playing like a lead sound, like a synth lead, like I always play it the same kind of way. So you can always tell that's me right there. That's my stamp on it. Yeah, those are two like key indicators that I made the beat.
Okay, so with producers, they have the producer tag. I've always wanted to know where these producer tags come from, because I forget what. Oh, it's Juicy J's tagline. His tagline is hilarious to me. What Juicy say? Shut the fuck up! Yo, that shit is hilarious to me. So
It's legendary. That's legendary.
exactly, but when that tag comes on, you know what song it is. So it's like I've always wanted to know how people think of their tagline. Was it something that just came naturally that you heard someone say, or did an artist say it and you were like, oh yeah, that's it? Or like, how was the process of that?
I would say, okay, so it's just a vibe. Like I literally um like I went from, it's funny, my tag used to be like Siete Ciento. Like I don't know why. I'm from the West Coast. Like I'm from Las Vegas. So for whatever reason, when I first like started coming up with a tag, I was like, I want somebody to say my tag in Spanish. Like who's doing that? Nobody's doing that. So my homie had some girl he knew say my tag in Spanish. So that was my tag for a little bit. And it wasn't really hitting like that. And then you know, what I think like an ex girlfriend of mine, I had her do a tag, and it still was kind of like, it was cool, but it wasn't like, you feel me? It's everything just was kind of forced until one day last summer, I was doing a session with my boy Josh Bass, and he was just he literally had just said it randomly. Like we weren't even doing a session like for him, it was for somebody else. He literally just said, "Hey, Big Seven, whip it up again." I was like, "What?" I was like, "Nah, nigga, say that on the mic right now. Like, get on the mic and say that right now." And like that was it. That was it. It was literally like you just really just know like when it's the one for real. Like when I heard him say that, we stopped everything. I was like, yeah, nah, get on this mic and say that. So that's what happened.
All right, all right, all right. So we obviously have to talk about the people that you've worked with. So you just want to throw some people out there that you recently worked with?
Let me. It's a lot of dope artists. I'm gonna start off with my boy Uno the Great. That's my brother. Like we got a whole bunch of heat coming out this month. Ride Forever. That's coming.
We
We got
love
my
an
boy.
exclusive.
Look, look, look. Just wait on it. We got my boy Ricky Mapes from New York. Super dope artist. I think I don't know how many views he just got on our newest song, No Pain, but check out his single No Pain on YouTube. Um, Banger. Who else I want to shout out? My boy 4K Michael putting on for Baltimore City.
Yeah.
Crazy, crazy, crazy artist. Like I'm telling you, he's gonna blow up. Like in this next year, you're gonna know who 4K Michael is. Let me think. Let me think. I don't want to forget nobody. It's hard. It's hard having like creative friends. You don't ever want to forget nobody. Um, but yeah. Also shout out to my boy PJ, another new artist from Vegas I'm working with. Very very dope. Like building his catalog up as we speak. So that's pretty much everybody off top I can think of. You know what I'm saying? That I really truly believe in. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be some real great names in the near future.
Okay, so with music, I feel like, at least for me, music is like a very personal experience. So I feel like as an artist, when they're coming in or when you're speaking to them, it's kind of like you guys have to create a bond with each other to kind of pull stuff out of them. So what's the process of getting to know a new artist that you have never met before, never talked before, but y'all need to produce a fire track?
I need to we need to like have like something in common. Like for instance, my boy Uno, I've known him my whole life, literally my whole life, like since preschool probably. I really don't know if it was preschool, but I've literally known this nigga my whole life. So like but we weren't always doing music together. We were literally just friends. And then at some point in high school, we decided like, bro, let's make music. Like you do beats, I rap. You know what I'm saying? So, that connection is crucial. I really just have to meet you and get a certain vibe from you. If we got a certain vibe, then you know, no telling what we can get done. You know what I'm saying? But it's all about a vibe. If I feel like you weird, we're probably not gonna get no music made. Like we gotta have like same. We gotta have this chemistry when we meet. That's really. If I'm linking up with an artist, like if I feel like there's no like chemistry there or anything, like then it's not really gonna be much. But it really just comes out off that first link up, like in the studio. Like I'll figure it out real quick then and there. So
Okay, so once you get the right vibe, what's the first thing that you're gonna do to create a song?
so first thing I always ask artists, like, how are you feeling? Like, what type of mood are you even in? Because I could come through to the studio and have a whole bunch of beats that I think fit your vibe and fit what you're trying to do, and you might not even be on that type of time. I might have some super hard trap beats, some crazy shit, and you feel like, talking about you and your feelings or something, like, what I'm
Right.
saying? You might be in a mellow type of mood. You might not even be on that. So I always ask, how are you feeling today? That's the first question, like, how you feeling today? Because, it's important.
Right.
An artist wants to get what's on their chest off, through music. So I'm trying to translate that and put that same feeling into a song. So that's the first thing I ask, how are you feeling today? Like that's as simple as that.
Okay. And I feel like that's key because, like you said, you can't really create a vibe or create emotion for an audience if you're not catering to having that vibe come out into the music. So once you have the vibe, what's the next step? Is it going into production, or is it lyrics, or and then you bounce off?
It really depends. Like say it's like um an artist gives me the type of vibe he's going for. If I don't have nothing like presently that I can like pull up, then I'll instantly start pulling up. Um, this is a program called Splice. It's a website that has a program. So basically, it's all these like sounds that you can let an artist say I'm trying to look for a mellow type of beat. So I'll look up mellow or chill type of sound, and then it'll pop up with sounds that sound like that. And it's easier for like workflow as a producer, so I can pull up these sounds, catch a vibe off just one of these sounds, and then just build from there. Like I typically, depending on what the vibe is, if it's like a mellow type of track, I'm gonna look for some like keys, some mellow keys or something like that. Or if it's an emotional type of track, like I'm gonna look for some emotional type keys, and then I'll go to the drums. But if it's like he or she wants some hard trap stuff, instantly I'm just start making some drums, load up some 808s, and just try to catch a vibe off that.
Okay, so you don't just work with artists. You obviously have, produced stuff for me. So like with me, at least I didn't know what I wanted. I just said I wanted something fire. And I gave you the name of the program and was like, yeah, just make something up. So when stuff like that happens, what do you do? Like what was the process for you making the intro song for me?
When I made the intro song for you, it was really just like I wanted to, like, I'm thinking like anthem. So I'm thinking like some people are gonna remember some type of music that's gonna be remembered, like when they click on the link. It's like, oh, this it's time. Let's go. Like, what I'm saying? That's what I was thinking about, like the lituation. Like, what's the lituation? Like, I needed to sound like, all right, yeah, like it's time. That's really what it was. Like an alarm, like an anthem. That's what my thought process was.
Because a lot of people when the first season came out, a lot of people were like, oh no, this song is fire, hold on, who made that? So I had to keep dropping your stuff everywhere. That's why I had to keep tagging you, because everyone was like, I know the vibe now. And I feel like with people forget that it's not just lyrics that give the vibe. Like the lyrics could be good, but if the production is not good, the song could be ass in layman's terms. So
Ass.
when you have a song that you're not quite there yet with, I know a lot of people may just leave it and come back to it later, or are you one of those people that like, okay, I'm gonna get this right and figure it out?
I'm literally all about um taking my time. Like, and shout out to Amiris, shout out to
Yeah.
her because she understands this firsthand. Like we've worked on songs, we got different versions. So it's like what we'll presently make in a session. If the final version won't even sound like that. It might be a whole different beat. It might be a whole different sample. It might be something else, and that happens a lot. With other artists I work with. So like I try not to rush anything because you try to rush certain things, um, it don't always turn out like how you pictured it. Like sometimes you might catch that vibe, you make that song real quick and it's lit, everything's great. Like, but also it's always good to take your time with things because music is a process. Like
Right.
it may not seem that way, like when you're like looking on social media and stuff, like, but a lot of songs be processed. A lot of people that write music, it's and shout out to Amirs again. Like I've seen her book. Like she has songs from all, I don't know how many months, years back. She's got all these songs, and I got homies that got hella songs that they just have stored in their head. So I never personally try to rush anything. Like if it gets done in that time, then it gets done. But if it doesn't, I'm always ready to like go back, what I'm saying, and see what we can build on.
Right. You said it's a process. And I feel like as before I got really into music as a listener, I'm like, oh, they just made this song, just put it out, cool, great, fire, lit. But now that I'm in the industry and like watching friends create music, I can see that it could be months, years before the final version of the song is ever put out. So what do you feel like has been the longest time that it's taken for a song to come out that you've been working on and then it finally comes out? How long was the longest time period?
I think me and my boy Uno, um, we dropped a song called "Set It Off," and I believe that song, it took 2 years to come out, but it was his biggest song so far. It took 2 years, like literally. I can't really think of the dates off top, but like it literally, when people heard it, it's been sitting, it had been sitting on a hard drive for 2 years. So it was always like I had to learn how to mix, I had to learn how to master. We had to change up verses. Like it was one point where he had sent me a verse, and I called him. I was like, nah, change that part. And he heard, and he knew what I was talking about. And he was like, I thought I was gonna I thought you might have like let it slip by. I was like, nah, hell no. This song too fire. Like, we gotta make sure this shit is perfect. He's like, all right, bet. So he fixed it. And like, but yeah, that song definitely took some time. And I got other songs that I'm just waiting, for them to drop. You know what I'm saying? Just from all my artist friends and people I work with. So, it's definitely a waiting game. It's all about timing. So, but two
Right, right.
years definitely the longest. Yeah.
That's crazy that it took 2 years, but it's his most listened and rated song. That's crazy. But
Mm-hmm.
okay, so for samples, this has always been a question for me and what I've been doing. I've noticed that with samples, a lot of time artists try to stay away from them because clearance is so hard to get. From what I've seen, like artists like Sweetie, her biggest songs are based off of samples. No shade to Sweetie, love Sweetie. If Sweetie want to come over here, like, and be on the podcast, ain't no problem. But like, her biggest songs are off samples. And from what I've been noticing is that samples take a really long time to clear. Either you get them or you don't. So, do you try to stay away from samples, or have you done samples? And how is the process of getting that clear?
I'm gonna be honest. I'm taking a Kanye West approach to samples. If they want to come get me, then come get me. That's how that's how I feel. Like if they want to come get me, y'all could come get me. But I don't want to let anything deter my creative process. Like if I feel like this sample is fire, I'm going to chop it up and I'm going to use it. Now I understand that there are different avenues to like circumvent those type of problems. So you got websites like TrackLib and I forgot. I think it's like Citizen DJ, something with Congress. I don't know. It's literally a whole library that was made available by the U.S. government that allow people to sample music royalty free, which means that you don't have to worry about royalty splits on who originally made the track. So I know that when it comes to samples, I'm going to use it if I think it's fire, but I also I will check and see if I can go on TrackLib and see if I can buy um, the license to it, or go to citizendj.com, which is the Congress thing, and see if maybe it's there, so I can just double check. But I'm not if I know it's like Michael Jackson and it's some crazy Michael Jackson sample, I'm gonna sample it just because you never know. You never know what might happen to that. Like if you think like that, a lot of music that we love would never exist. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, like sampling is not new. I had posted
Right.
something about that on Twitter. Like sampling has been around since the 40s.
Mhm.
Where what is sampling? You hear some music and you record it and you play it back. That is sampling. That has literally been around since the 40s. So
Mhm.
like it's not a new thing at all. So I don't
Right.
let anything stop me. That's how I feel.
Because I feel like sampling has just become bigger. I feel like everyone's doing it now. Whereas back in the day, it was like very rare, like that it was happening. But I mean, we got people like Chris Brown sampling people that's not even alive no more. So there's that. I
Look,
don't know how that worked. That song that he did with Aaliyah, how that worked, because he wasn't even around when Aaliyah was popping. But it was a fire song. So I'm not even
Drake
gonna worry about it.
look, Drake got a whole Michael Jackson verse on Scorpion. So look, I'm not letting nothing stop me. If I feel like sampling it, I'm gonna sample it. And if people want to come get me, they can come get me. It's just like don't let nothing stop. We're talking about being creatives. We're talking about music. We're talking about the vibe. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Don't let anything stop the vibe. Let it be what it is. If you feel like sampling that Stevie Wonder, go crazy. I mean, good luck.
Right.
But literally, at least get it out. Like you never know what could happen. It might get cleared. It might not. Who knows? But at least you made it. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
that's how I feel.
Because I feel like even if stuff happens, like, okay, I watched the Flo Milli interview, and obviously I think it was her last single that came out was Weak, and it had SWV on it. She didn't even know SWV. SWV didn't even know her. And she was just in the studio and she was just like vibing or whatever. And she was singing the song. And the producer, I forget his name. I'm so sorry. I be really trying to know producers' names. But he was on the phone with one of the members and she was like, "Oh my God, that sounded so good." And she was like, "Oh, well, can I have it?" And then that's how it worked. So I'm like, if anyone wants to come and allow me to sample their music, period, it's on site. Like, I'll do it. I don't sing or nothing, but I'll make a fire something. Like,
Something. Look.
okay, moving right along. So obviously we have to ask this question. I feel like other producers are gonna want to know this. So like, what's your inspiration? Who are you listening to right now? Any poppin' producers that is just like, yeah, I love what he's doing. I love what he or she is creating because we have some female producers. Let me not do that. But who are your inspirations and who are you digging that is right
I'm
now?
I'm gonna start off first and foremost. Like it's a couple of producers that are in my circle currently, that inspire me every day. So shout out to my boy 3 a.m. That's my brother. Me and him together. That's perfect 10. That's another thing everybody's gonna start hearing about real soon. Perfect 10. Got my boy Will Cherry. He from Ohio. Really just putting on for Cleveland all the time. Like his production is crazy. Shout out to my boys Ansel and Vance. Like they're uh, if I'm not mistaken, they're from Baltimore too. Ansel might be from Miami. Uh, yeah, all of them. Those are the ones that's definitely pushing me every day. Like we're always sending music, sounds, kits, everything back and forth to each other. You know what I'm saying? I know I'm missing somebody. They're gonna watch this and get mad. Shout out, shout out to Duck Dog, another producer from Vegas. Shout out my boy Rodney from ATL. Uh, yeah, that's everybody I can think of. That like to me, on my peers really inspire me. I don't I of course uh like Metro Boomin and the T minuses and the South Sides of the world, like Kanye West and them, like they're always inspirations, but it's just like, I'm not always looking at them. I'm always looking at my peers because it's like
Mhm.
I know we can uplift each other. We can be up there with them. You feel me? Because at one point they was down where we was at.
Right.
So like that's how I be looking at it. Them those are my main inspirations as of late, I would say.
I feel like I can't remember what episode it was, but I feel like that same kind of vibe came from another person that I had as a guest, and I'm so sorry that I forget. But I love that it's the fact that you guys focus on people that are in the same position as you, because I feel like a lot of people don't take the time to really look at who is at the same level of grind as them. And it's like, okay, yeah, we have these big names, these big people that we're inspired by, but we should also be looking at who's on the come up with us, because you never know, they could be the next people that are inspiring the new generation. And you never know, those people are probably the first people to help you because they see the same amount of hustle that they have. So I feel like a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people don't have that mindset of not only looking at the greats, but look at the people that are on the same level as you, because you just never know.
You never know. And like it's such a crazy thing that, people, I would say in the producer community, everybody, or not everybody, but most people are just driven by that placement. Everybody calls it, it's placement. I got a placement with so and so, I got a placement with this. Like, but people fail to realize, like, you should always be looking, like, everybody's trying to network vertically. And it's crazy. I heard, if I'm not mistaken, I heard this from Issa Rae in some random interview from her. But she was like, she said, like, we should focus on um networking horizontally instead of vertically, because it's like, everybody's trying to network. Let me get to the top. Let me get to the top. You know what I'm saying? But it's like you have a whole pool of resources around you. Why don't you take advantage of that already and all y'all like go up together? You know what I'm
Right.
saying? It's because you try to chase this big, you know, trying to chase this big goal up top, and it's like you're always gonna be, you're never really gonna be satisfied. You know what I'm saying? You're always trying to get to the next big thing. Next big thing is like, meanwhile, you got the next little Uzi Vert, that's your friend. You got the next Metro Boomin, that's your neighbor. Like, link up with them. You know what I'm saying? Because everybody that's great literally was where you're at. So
Exactly.
if you've seen somebody doing this over and over and over and it keeps working, like maybe there's some truth to it, and you should just do the same thing.
Right.
You know.
So, with the climate of the world right now, we still in this pandemic, and I don't understand why we're still here. I want to leave my house. I want to go and do hood rat shit with my friends, okay? But as a creative, I know that it's kind of difficult. And, we've had enough time to kind of adapt, because as a creative, we have to adapt to every change. So, how has this time of, you know, isolation kind of made you switch your mindset? How has it made you switch what you're doing?
It definitely it made me more focused. Like if if I'm gonna be stuck in the house all the damn day, like I have to I have to be focused on something that's, productive. So I would definitely say um my creativity definitely went up, but also weirdly enough, it taught me to take breaks. So it was like when I'm not, it was like when I wasn't forced to be in the crib, you know what I'm saying? I'll sit in front of the computer for hours on hours, eyes all burnt out and shit. And like now, I'm forced to stay in the crib. It's like, look, if I got a chance, like, let me go walk outside. Let me go fucking look at some leaves and feel the breeze and something. Like, that's just, that's really like what it's done. It definitely it definitely and also shout out to my girl for she's also really the real reason why I'm even like that, because it's like during like real quarantine, it was me and her, like we was in a crib together, and she definitely would always stress me like, nigga, take a break. like, and we live in a society where it's like taking a break or taking like time for your own mental health is just so, it's like it's the grind culture. Just fucking
Hmm.
work hard till you die, bitch. It's like, nah, you don't have to do you don't have to do, you're supposed to work hard, but work smart. Like if you need
Yeah.
a break, take a break. You know what I'm saying? I know that's definitely the biggest thing I've got from this crazy ass time we're in, is to really take time and look at myself and what I need. You know what I'm saying? Because it really just may be a 10-minute break, or walk outside, a glass of water, something that simple could just get me back right. And then I can go back to being, as productive as I know it can be, you know?
No, I definitely feel that. I feel like with this quarantine, like you said, our culture is very work your ass off in your 20s so that you don't have to work your ass off anymore. And that's just not how I want to live my 20s. I'm sorry. If I don't have to pay a lot of stuff right now, I'm going to go travel, even though quarantine says that I can't right now. So that's fucking with my shit. But like you said, I've just learned that it can't be work, work, work all the time, because the best part about taking breaks, because I do take breaks with this podcast, because this podcast can get a little overwhelming at times,
Mm-hmm.
but it's like the creativity and the drive that I get during those breaks, I bring it back when I'm on, because having those times to chill allows me to just relax and let my mind just wander. If I don't have those times, I'm going to burn out. And if you love something so much, like I know that you love making music and I know that you love, graphics and everything, why would you want to burn out? Why would you even let yourself get to a point where it's just like, fuck this shit, I'm out. Like, I don't
Exactly.
want to do this no more. And I feel like that's definitely something that a lot of people, especially people who are aspiring to be even in a place like you, because there's people looking up at you being like, oh my God, I want to be like 7 Cent. Like, oh my God, like, oh my God. So I feel like they need to remember to take those times for themselves. So like you mentioned, taking that walk and, being outside and just having those chill moments, because it doesn't just have to be, okay, let me just sit on the couch, or like, let me just watch TV. It could just be, okay, let me go outside real quick so I can get some air because it's very stuffy in here.
And I mean,
Like,
exactly, like a change of scenery could do so much. Like, and people, I don't think people be understanding that, but I
you
know
can
I
get
that
inspiration from anything.
anything.
I've heard people make songs like Savannah Christina. She just came out with an EP. If you haven't heard the EP, Self Care, it's fire. Savannah, if you ever want to be on a podcast, let's jam you. But the whole thing of how she got viral was that she took places that she was at and took the background elements of that and incorporated it into her music. Like, I feel like, what was the first one? Was it Self Care? No, Self Care was the one that was at the beach where she took the ocean sound and kind of brought it into her music. And I feel like no one would have thought about that, but clearly she had some thought process to do that. So like, what's some out of the box thing that you are thinking of doing? Don't nobody steal this idea, because I will come and find you. But what is some out of the box thing that you are just like, dang, I really want to incorporate this somehow, some way?
um Out of the box thing I want to like incorporate. I don't know, it sounds kind of corny, and it's really like, so one thing I definitely want to do coming up, so I've already released a instrumental tape, Smile. Of
Love
course I want
Smile.
to thank you. Everybody check out Smiles on all DSPs. Um it's for the next like step of that series. I'm trying to create a series. I really
Okay,
just wanted to do
series.
like I really wanted to do like a radio show, you know what I'm saying? Like just something like a quirky like type of radio show. Like you ever listen to like old Snoop Dogg like if you listen to Doggy Style, it's this raunchy ass radio station. Look,
You can't
I'm,
see it, but Doggy
it,
Style is on my vinyl wall. I freaking love
it's
Doggy
up there.
Style.
So like the fucking raunchy ass radio station, little interludes and shit. Like I always want to incorporate that in my music. Like just give people that full experience of also like of just like who I am as a person. Because I'm fucking on 10 most of the time. You feel me? I'm always cracking jokes and saying crazy shit. So like, so I definitely want to do something like that. Yeah, something I'm really trying to figure out. Like, how can I put this shit together? Like, but that's the thing. That's definitely something I'm trying to incorporate. So
Okay, you're talking about putting stuff together, and I don't know if you recently saw my Instagram post about this, but I was watching a YouTube video by Nathan Zed, which, oh my God, he reposted me like what? But Nathan Zed was talking about the art of album sequencing and the fact that it doesn't really happen anymore.
mm-hmm.
Um, at least in his opinion, he feels like a lot of artists just kind of like put a project together and it's not that cohesive story that, you know, back in the day, that was like the art. Like every album had a story, it had interludes that, you know, went in with the story. Or I forget what's two songs that he said, but you know, sometimes there'll be songs where on the album they just naturally flow into each other. Where if you're listening to it in its entirety, it's like you didn't even realize that the last song ended and the next song began. So, what is your take on album sequencing? Is it something that you, as a producer, when you're working with artists, is it like a essential thing? Like, is that what you're working with them on, or is like album sequencing just, you know, if it happens, it happens. If it don't, it don't.
I personally take album sequencing super serious. So like I know um I'll say for instance recently like Savage Mode 2 was Metro Boomin and 21 Savage. I
I
really
haven't listened to it yet.
look, oh man, listen to it.
There's
It's
so
fire.
much music that came out today, so you have to
Yeah, it
give
was
me
a lot.
credit.
It was a lot. No, but like I was listening to Savage Mode 2 and the sequencing was amazing because it's like and I'm a producer, so I'm always looking at like I'm looking at shit most regular people aren't looking at. So I'm looking at when like the time of the song is ending and when the next song begins. And the sequencing was perfect. Like they would have Morgan Freeman narrating at the end of a track and then like it'll go into the next track and you won't even know that it went to the next track. You know what I'm saying? Unless you were looking at your phone. So like Metro is super he's goated for getting all that done. But I know me personally, when I'm involved on a project, usually artists I'm working with, they send me the whole project. You know, like how does this song sound when it goes into this one or that one, or like how should we structure this? Because it's more than just putting like songs like on a tape and you just put it out. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So, typically when I'm working with an artist, they usually ask me my opinion on the sequencing of the album, or if I can do anything to help like transition this part into this part. So yeah, it's a big part of the process. I feel like if you call yourself a producer, you're concerned about the sequencing. You know what I'm saying? It's a part of producing. You're producing something, a body of work. So
I thought that it was very important as well. And from the poll, a lot of people were saying that it wasn't. And I was just very concerned.
I feel like they say it's not because I don't think they really know what it is.
What it is, right?
I don't think I know me, I press play, I don't press shuffle on a new album. So when you load up a new album, you pressing play. And then when you love that album, you're not really thinking about why you loved it. The reason why you loved it is because it was set up in a way
Mm-hmm.
to invoke feeling throughout the whole thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
I would say, what's Don Toliver album? Oh my goodness.
The latest one?
Yes, what's that called? I'm about to hold on. Let me grab
I'm
it.
about to look it up because I forgot. We're not going to keep this part in there because we going to look stupid.
Hold on.
Heaven or Hell?
Oh, I knew I was about to say it. Fucking Heaven or Hell. So Don Toliver said himself, like on Heaven or Hell, he literally um like crafted the album with the journey in mind. Like it went from like literally the after party, and then he went on his journey, like high, fucking hoes, he's doing all this other shit, he's on drugs. But it's literally like you're taking that journey with him. Like
Right.
it's the reason why you get all these like super hype tracks, and you get to the climax, and then it's like coming
Mm-hmm.
down on this mellow type of wave. So like, if and you listen to all of that and you love the album, well, shit, you love the sequencing of the album. So it's
Exactly.
like, I think people just don't really know what it is, and I mean, most people aren't, and there's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? But I think, yeah, people just probably aren't. What the fuck is that? No. We talking about
Because
a sequence?
right, because for me, like you said, I'm very much a big person where like I can't listen to albums if I haven't listened to them. Like sometimes my friends will start playing a new song from an album and I'm like, no, you have to turn it off because I haven't listened to it in order, because there's a reason why the order is the way that it is and I need to listen to it first. And then I also have to have it in a way where it sounds like it's coming out of headphones, regardless of what it is, because you know some speakers sound real good, like it's coming from a studio quality. And I've always been very adamant about listening to it the way that the artist has it set up, because there should be a reason why. But I've seen people who will only listen to 10 seconds of each song, and I'm like, that's not even a spin, friend. Like they might not even be
It's not
talking.
even
Like they might not be the baby and jumping off songs off rip. Like you just listening to the beat. That's cool too, but like 10 seconds, like I said, that's not even a spin. If y'all don't know what a spin is 90 seconds. If y'all really want to be in this radio game and like get your songs on the radio first, you need to talk to DJs to get your songs on the radio. Do not talk to the radio personality. We cannot help you. I'm sorry. But if you really want your song to be really good, it needs to have 90 seconds of quality music, because if a label is going to be listening to you, they're not going to listen to that whole song unless the first 90 seconds, that first spin is fire. So my question to you, do you take that into account when you're producing? Like, is the first kind of few minutes of the song, or a few 1 minute of the song, because most songs are like 2 minutes, 3 minutes now, but is that what you take into account? Like the first time that a person listens to it, within the first few seconds, is that like important to you, or is it the fact that you just want them to collectively listen to the whole single or song?
Like I would say it's super important to me because like and it's something I had to get better with and grow with as a producer. So like when I'm making a beat, I used to have like these really long intros, and like it would take 50 seconds to get to the damn beat drop. And it's like I had to, and I'm trying to like I also sell and lease beats online. So like
Buy
I'm trying
them.
to figure
Go
out like
ahead. Buy them. Wait, plug up real quick. Go ahead. Buy them. What's the
yeah,
website?
www.tracktrain.com/7cent.
Go buy
So
it.
that's TRAK train/7cent. So
Simple.
simple. So I used to have these super long ass intros, and not realizing like when I hear a song with a super long ass intro, it's probably because they were in the studio together, like big artists linked up, like they already have all the cloud, whatever
Mm-hmm.
you want to call it. But like, I'm thinking like I need to be. I'm trying to be in that type of space, but you know, a lot of people that are just like looking to shop for beats, they're not having a long. They have a short attention span.
Mm-hmm.
So like I know that I have to catch your second. I have to catch your attention in the first like 20 seconds. So I'll probably already have the drums going when you cut the track on, or I'll have like a sound that like what the hell is that? Like, you know what I'm saying? So it's super important just to catch that attention. And then um, what's something I want to say? Like, music is like a roller coaster, basically.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? You have to build that tension and then get to that climax, and then the beat drops, and then everybody is just holding on for the rest of the ride. You know what I'm saying? So that's how I look at it.
Okay, so speaking of roller coasters, what do you feel like is the perfect song or perfect album or perfect tape? Because some mixtapes are fire. What do you think? I know it's probably going to be the hardest question for you, but what do you feel like is the perfect song, mixtape, EP, album? Like, what if you could have made this project? Like, it could have said your name on it. What would have been the perfect one?
Uh, this is hard. This is extremely hard. Um, and I feel like my answers are gonna change like after this.
Oh no,
Like
my answers change with this all the time.
I'm gonna forget something. Um, Loaded album. I'm gonna say My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy. That for my album, like perfect. That shit is just perfect. I don't know.
When he
Like
wasn't
it,
problematic.
we'll talk about that. He crazy, but he crazy. But I love Kanye, man. Shout out to Kanye. But he yeah, he was in his bag with that one. Mixtape, mixtape, man. I don't even want to go to mixtapes. There's so many mixtapes. Like I'm about to say Monster. I'm about to say Monster by Future, but then it's like, bro, I don't know. Like I really don't know. Like because What a Time to Be Alive was technically a mixtape. So I don't know. it's so hard. It's so hard. But like my perfect album that I'm just gonna say that's the safest answer is just My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy because it damn near is perfect. Like that was art in audio waves. So like that's my answer. That's my answer.
I feel like I have to ask that question to everybody now because everybody keep asking me. Like, don't be asking me questions like that because it's so hard for me to answer that because questions like that or like what's your favorite artist or who do you really like right now? I don't know. Like I can
my
name a whole bunch of people, but granted, I mean, the first person that comes off the top of my head is Kaylani because that's my wife. But every month it changes because there's new people. Like at one point, freaking it was Divine was literally a album that I played every time I got in my car. Every time. I was annoying my mom because I was playing it so much. Chica, latest album, dang, not album, it was an EP. I don't remember the Industry Games. There it is. I was playing Industry Games EP like it was crack. Like all the time, no issue. Control, that's also up there somewhere. Control is literally what I feel like is the perfect album because the album sequencing on that sheet.
I'm with you until I'm like, man, I'll be clicking that. I don't know. I love that album. I just when she did the African tribal chants, I just wasn't. It wasn't hidden for me. I didn't like that. I love SZA though. Shout out to SZA. But
Shout
like
out to SZA.
the African chants, I would not fuck with the African
I
chants. You know, her
love
grandma talking was cool, like, but the African chants threw me off.
I think the reason why I didn't really care about it, because I definitely understand it now listening to it, but like I feel like I didn't care about it because, like you said earlier, I didn't realize that it was moving into another song until I was looking at my phone. And like you said, I try not to look at my phone when I'm listening to music. Like I'm very much just sitting there. Like I'm weird. Like I don't like reading or watching TV when I'm listening to an album for the first time. Like I just want to either sit or lay, drink a little wine, and just chill while I'm listening to it. So I feel like I didn't realize that it was happening until I started listening to it later. But I truly think that Control, I don't know how she's gonna top that. And I'm really sad because she just now got back with Hit Different. And I'm just really scared because I don't want her, I don't want her to turn into what oh, this is about to be a trigger. I'm gonna do a trigger warning. Um if this is triggering you, if you love Bryson Tiller, I'm sorry. Skip a few minutes. Sorry. But I don't need SZA to become a Bryson Tiller. And when I say Bryson, I mean I don't need it to go from control/trap soul to what was the last album he put
I
out?
think
I forget.
it was Don't.
True to Self or something like that.
True to Self is about to come out, but it was Don't
No,
Stop.
Anniversary just came out.
Bro, I'm so
True to Self was the last one.
it was.
Mm-hmm. I just wrote a whole article about it, so I didn't.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. My
But
fault.
I
True to
didn't.
Self wasn't even that bad. All right, all right,
I
all right.
didn't like True to
Let,
Self.
let me speak. Let me speak my piece on Bryson. And you know what's funny about Bryson Tiller? My boy, my homie Brent, and I have to say this on record, just in case Just kidding. You never know. So like, you could quote me saying I wasn't really like when Don't and all that stuff came out. I used to be that one guy that just had the opposite opinion just to have it. So like, I really wasn't fucking with Bryson Tiller at first until like later down the line, and really when I got deeper into producing, and like honestly, I thought like, oh, you just trying to sound like Tory Lanez, at the time, but like, no, super wrong about that. I
Definitely
don't think
different.
I don't think Bryson. I don't even think Bryson has anything to prove anymore. Like I don't think SZA has anything to prove anymore. Like,
At all.
but like Bryson, like he doesn't have anything to prove. Like he gave us Don't. What more do you want? What more do he gave us the time to song? He gave us the time to song, bro. He gave us the time to song. And True to Self, uh, what is that one song, True to Self? I have to listen to 1,000 times.
I just feel like
Don't Get Too High.
mm-mm.
What? Oh my goodness.
I'm
Oh my
telling
goodness.
you, I barely remember songs from True to Self. Like if they play, I'm like, what? This is new Bryson? No, it's not. But when I tell you that I could literally sing all of Trap Soul to you right now, I won't, but I could. And I was just like, before Anniversary came out, I was like, oh my God, I really hope that this is like the Bryson that I've come to love. And it wasn't terrible. Was it great? No.
I think we have to stop. I think we gotta let go of certain things. Like I don't. It's only certain artists that can really like recapture some lightning. Like I'll just say like Kendrick Lamar. I don't think he has any weak albums. All his
Mm-hmm.
albums sound different, and
Mm-hmm.
they're all fire in their own ways. Kanye was like that until these recent releases, where not that they were just trash, like they weren't like trash. It's just that they weren't as impactful, like to me personally. Like
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm saying? When you've gone on, went from Graduation to My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy, College Dropout, every one of these albums, Yeezus, like all these different albums were like so crazy, and then Yay, and then it's just like it's not. It just wasn't. It wasn't like the same type of impact to
I
me.
feel like once Pablo came out, that's when I started to just be like,
I don't want to say Pablo wasn't the peak. Like I would say My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy was the peak. Um,
oh no, definitely that's the peak. But what I mean is after Pablo came out, whatever the next thing was, I was just very like, okay.
yeah, but I don't think. I think it was because he just wasn't like super hyper focused on the music. Like I think he was just more kind of like, you know, I don't know. I think it was just less pressure on him. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? Like, it's like one of those things. What more do you have to prove after you've given the world all these albums? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what more do you have to prove? Like,
Right.
so I think it was that. But I kind of forgot what the original question was. I know we were talking about Bryson.
Yes, you were talking about like you pretty much were talking about the same thing. Like people don't have anything to prove because I was bringing up the fact that I wanted Trap Soul back. Like I wanted Bryson Trap Soul back, and I ain't hear Bryson Trap Soul back. Okay, no, I did for the Drake song. That was cool. Love that. And it was like a couple more songs that I liked, but I was just like, maybe I'm turning into like a person that I just want that old thing back, and I can't get it.
You turned to an old head, man. You gotta get rid of old head mentality. That's how old people sound. Man, ain't nobody messing with Marvin Gaye. Marvin Gaye is the greatest of all time. Like grandma, like chill out. But nah, like it comes with just getting older. You know what I'm saying? We tend to hold on to things
Mm-hmm.
that like think about when like, I'm thinking about like when I heard uh, my favorite songs. Like I think about when I was listening to T-Pain in high school, middle school. That was middle school for me.
Mm-hmm.
Like I'm sprung coming out, like, or I'm in love with a stripper. Like it's just like when I'm a kid and like say I got a crush on a girl or something, and it's just you thinking about the girl, you think about the song. It's just everything's all this like little fantasy shit going on in your head, like you know what I'm saying? Because you're a kid, you know what
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying? Imagination going crazy. So like, but you get older, and it's like I guess you're just holding on to what you felt as a kid to the
Yeah.
music, and it can make you be like, I don't want this new shit. It don't feel like when I was a little kid. Nah, like I'm just saying, like we got. I try. I be slipping up too. Sometimes I'll be like, man, nah, but like, it's just we be holding on to shit. That's all it is.
Yeah.
You gotta let go. Let go.
I'm trying to get better, which is why like I typically was a person that would listen to the album once and then that was my rating. Like that was how I felt about it. That's when I would reviewed. But I feel like I'm starting to get to a point where like most albums, I don't like it the first time. I'm not gonna hold you. Second time or the third time, I'm starting to like it a little bit more. What? It's not up here. And I thought it was. But because I don't remember what the album is. Actually, no, it wasn't. It was Divine because Divine was amazing. But there's been albums where I was like, no, that's not it. Oh, it was a Future album.
Which Future album?
His latest one. High Up. Wait, was that his latest one?
I think it is High Off Life, or it's something.
Because I just got High Off Life. Yes.
High Off Life.
I did not like High Off Life. And I feel like I was harboring hatred towards Future for his toxic ass behavior. Because people be like, yeah, I'm trying to be like Future, the toxic king. And I'm like, bitch, why would you want to be toxic? Like, I'm tired of niggas trying to be toxic. And I was holding that hatred towards him for perpetuating the toxic lifestyle. And then I listened to it again. I was like, okay, I hear it. I feel the vision. I see it. But like, I feel like I have to listen to stuff after they've come out.
Yeah.
And past the hype for me to like, okay, I may like this.
I would say like Future, and I can't say I sat down and listened to all of it. Cause I haven't. Like he has so much music. Like you can't even blame me. Like, bro, you have so much music. It's hard for me to just sit down and just listen to like 20 tracks of Future one day. But you know, I would definitely say the one album I can say that I listened to in the first time. Like I listened to this album the first time and then 9 more times. And the only album I've ever done that to was To Pimp a Butterfly. I literally listened to the album one time and I was like, I'm running this shit back 8 more times. Just wasted not even wasted the whole day, just spent a whole day to listen to the album. Just like deciphering bars and stuff like that. So.
Cause it's like with stuff like that, I feel like the main thing about Kendrick is his lyricism. Like even if you go back to it later, there's stuff that you did not catch. Like no matter how many times I've listened to any Kendrick project, even Untitled, where I'll go back and be like, yo, I miss that. Or like it hits different because I'm in that situation. Like King Kuta and like Pimp a Butterfly hit different now. Like it was fire then, but it hit different now.
Imagine if you dropped that shit this year.
We would start. They would not be okay with the riots that we would have.
They'd kill Kendrick. Let's keep it hot. Kendrick could get assassinated if you drop that album this year. He would get assassinated. Like no. I don't like. I guess I'm gonna be trendy. No cap.
No cap.
No cap. No cap. But that was crazy. But listen. Kendrick would definitely get his ass assassinated if he dropped that album. It's so powerful.
Right.
So powerful. Rap, like, niggas was not rapping about having a healthy self-image as a black man and woman. Like not like that. Not to say people ain't rapping about it, but I'm just saying like
not in the way that he did it.
Not the way he was doing it. No, not to me.
Right. He was very uncensored and unfiltered, and I feel like that's why people love Kendrick, because you know it's very much what you see is what you get type of thing. But my last question, just to wrap this own thing up, because we can't give him too much. You know, we can't give him too much, but obviously we got to ask the tried true question: who are some artists or producers that you want to work with? Because we are manifesting things, because I want to pull this episode back and be like, yeah, he did it. He said he was going to work with this person. He did it, period.
Let me think. I'm gonna keep it high. I want to get a song with Post Malone, just because I've always I'm gonna have a hit record. It's gonna be a
Period.
day. It's gonna be a day, and when I'm gonna pull up this video, I'm gonna have a hit record, a number one record. I know that, like, I'm trying to get something just huge, like a Post Malone track. Definitely be crazy. Um, on a more like not a lower level, but just big to me. Definitely got to work with Larry June. Definitely got to work with Jay Worthy, Dom Kennedy, and well, I'm just on the West Coast right now. Definitely got to work with Young Thug. That's gonna happen. I don't know when. It's gonna happen.
I
Sada
need to listen to Larry June. I've been asleep.
Super sleep. Stop sleeping.
My friend literally just hit me up and was like, have you listened to the Larry June project? And I'm like, no, but I will.
Look, stop sleeping. Stop sleeping.
All right. And is there any last things that you want to tell people or any advice that you have to aspiring producers?
I would say best advice I can give to aspiring producers is literally keep going. But what I mean by keep going, I really mean keep growing. Like if you see yourself in a situation and you feel like stuff isn't changing, look at your situation and see what you can change. That change might mean stop smoking weed, save some money, buy some equipment, buy some studio time to network. You know what I'm saying? See what you can do before if you feeling like giving up or anything. Ask yourself if you've truly exhausted every resource you have available to you to move you forward. You feel me? Because there's always somebody. If you're pushing, say you're pushing a car up a hill by yourself, more people are likely to get out of their car and help you. More people are likely to help people that can help themselves. You know what I'm saying? So that's my advice for really anybody watching this, no matter what you're doing in life. You feel me? Wherever you're trying to go, don't stop going there, but also make sure that you're doing everything you can to get there. And people are going to help you along the way. That's just how it's set up. I didn't make the rules. I didn't make the rules. This is how it worked. I'm sorry.
Love that. That was a nice note to end off on. So you already know, hit him up on all his socials. He gonna say it one more time for y'all.
Look, 7cent __ on all social media platforms. That's the number 7 SENT _ on Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat. I don't know, like everywhere. Look, I offer services for graphic design, music production, audio engineering, mastering, mixing, whatever you need.
And just like that, I'll see you in the next episode.